Jeanie Buss had this wide-ranging interview with The Athletic, and we talked a little bit yesterday about the fact that, whatever she meant, she tried to rephrase, but what she said was that Russell Westbrook was their best player last year. That had everybody rolling their eyes. I mean, you could just, even reading it, you're like, oh come on. Well, what I meant was most consistent, like he played more games than the other guys, sort of. But she had this to say, and I thought this was interesting, on the idea of LeBron retiring a Laker.
It is a big vote of confidence when LeBron James signs a 2-year extension, when he had many months to do so. And,
sure.
It was a priority to us. It's a priority to the Laker brand that he retire a Laker. We'll probably enjoy watching him as he approaches becoming the all-time leading scorer in history.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a cool build-up and a cool game, right? Albert Pujols is trying to hit 700 home runs, and he's actually getting closer to doing it with the St. Louis Cardinals, but paying him top of the market for it. You have to ask yourself, why are the Lakers doing this? Why are the Lakers doing it? And I understand there's not every team can wake up the morning before their first game of the season and say, we're doing this to win a championship. Right? Look at the NFL. The Detroit Lions aren't playing to win a championship. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy unlikely. Right? Crazy. The Lions, they just want to be respectable. Right? They are not in the position yet to where you can go, hey man, they got a shot. They don't. The Green Bay Packers have had all of the respectable success. They built up a team. They're an excellent defensive team. It should be a very good running team. I don't know about the weapons for Aaron Rodgers, but that guy has a tendency to be able to figure it out. But it's like a different sport or a different goal. The Lions just want to be respected. The Packers are playing to win the whole thing. Make sense? But the Lakers, we're always told, at Lakers, we're competing for championships. But are they? Are they? I mean, even in what Jeannie's saying. Jeannie didn't say, hey, LeBron's coming back to the Lakers for 2 more years because we're going to try and win 3 championships. They're not going to win a championship this year. Do I think they have a better shot if they have Buddy Hield and if they have Miles Turner? Yeah, it gives them a legit shot blocking center. I'm not sure it totally fits with how LeBron likes an Anthony Davis at a 5, but maybe that changes. He wants somebody to defend the back line, defend the rim. And a Buddy Hield, who I think we all think will shoot a better percentage, even if he doesn't shoot as much, playing with the Lakers, playing off LeBron, playing off Anthony Davis. Like that that at least puts them in the conversation. But if we all believe that LeBron is going to play with Bronny, and now LeBron is opening up the idea of playing with Bryce, and the Lakers, their first answer behind why re-sign LeBron James at this point in his career is, he's going to break the all-time scoring mark. It feels like the Lakers are just doing this for relevance. Hey, let's just stay relevant. We don't want to be an irrelevant. We had that stretch, at the end of Kobe's run where we weren't relevant. We just weren't good. Part of it was Kobe got hurt, but then we weren't going to win a championship. Let's just stay relevant, fill the arena, and then maybe next year or in future years, maybe then we can get somebody to re-sign. Next year we'll have the cap space. And what happens inevitably when you're trying to be relevant is you make a bad decision because the decision is based on relevance, not based on the likelihood of success. Right? Just be good. It's like the kid who has to have the new shoes, or the kid who in warm-ups has to do all the special dunks and stop everything. I want to do a move. You're just trying to be relevant. You're just trying to let people know you're there. Whereas the best way for people to know you're there is to just do your job really, really well. And they're like, who did this? He did this. Oh, then you're relevant. Jeanie hanging on to LeBron. Like LeBron, if you polled Laker fans and you say, is LeBron a Laker? They'd be like, I guess. He's played for the Lakers for 4 NBA seasons. 4. He's won an NBA championship. Do I think the bubble should have like some sort of asterisk? Okay. They still won the damn thing, right? Historically, it's going to go down. LA Lakers, 2020 NBA champions. Right? But he plays for the Lakers, doesn't even feel like he is a Laker. At the end of this contract, he'll have been a Laker for 7 seasons. And I guess by then you'd be like, yeah, all right, he's a Laker, sort of. Won a title. He'll have played with the Lakers longer than Wilt Chamberlain played for the Lakers. But it just feels like they're doing it to stay relevant, not to be great. And that goes counter to what the Lakers have always strived for and what LeBron has always represented. On the other hand, you got the Clippers, who, do I think they want to be relevant? Sure. But they're building an arena in the city that the Lakers have owned for 50 years in Inglewood, right? They brought back 2, they're not really LA, but let's just say Southern California born stars, one a superstar. Like the Clippers are building a championship team. They are a championship or bust team. And their owner has talked about nothing but winning a championship. And granted, if one team has 17, the other team has 0, you obviously winning one would put you in a relevant conversation. I understand. But the Clippers, on the other hand, in a recent survey of execs and scouts, were voted the team most likely to win an NBA title this season. Think about it for a second. The Lakers have been an abject disaster the past 2 years. Like to sneak into the playoffs and then have a lead, talk a bunch of trash, and get bumped out of the playoffs by the Suns, and then not make the playoffs the following year. If you're for the Lakers, those are terrible years. For terrible years. And usually when those things happen, they fired the coach, but usually everything is on the table in terms of change. Everything. And yet the Lakers truthfully are like, let's run it back. We had injuries. You weren't any good when everybody was healthy. To this point, you've added Patrick Beverley. Like that doesn't take you from an average NBA team to a team competing for a championship. The Clippers also weren't healthy, didn't have their superstar the entire season, have made some tweaks, but they're operating under the premise of, look, we're going for it. We don't care about relevance. We can't even have a conversation about relevance till we win. And I think what happens when you're trying to make decisions based upon relevance and not success, I think that's when you make look at me, I want attention sort of decisions, whereas the attention should come from the success, not from the desire to be relevant.